for the...
You need to, because you're the
talk for the paper, so I've got the
do
bullet
it properly, so we've got it all perfect.
So I'm not getting to something and going, where was it?
Yeah, installing all, yeah, so we've got it all bang on.
Clean.
But we can tell people exactly what we've got in plan, what we've got in motion, as it stands. This is my good friend, a man called Lee, from the family of Chalmers, and he has the solution to all this energy crisis knackers, bills, mortgage, any debts.
It's all fake.
All this 15-minute city knackers, all these coercion, all these, all this pushing and that. We can void it all with their own legal paperwork. Using their own legal system and their own legalese jargon, we can release people, well, this man, and with my help, we can release people from the matrix to live debt-free, because once anything is signed in person, the debt is paid from the signature. Is that correct? That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, whenever a name is used to create wealth, so a mortgage, a loan, when you go for your dole money, when you phone up for gas and electricity, they ask for the first thing that they require to then create that wealth, and that is the signature of the debtor. You're the sign of nature, the man, the true living essence, that's signing that piece of paper. That signature is what can create money. They use that to create money. So let's say, just to make it easy to understand, say for instance it's a mortgage. You're going for a mortgage, you're buying a £250,000 house. What happens is your signature creates £500,000, and 200,000 goes to you, 250,000 goes to you, which the bank is pretending to lend you, but you are the creator of that wealth. Being the creator, you have the inalienable right to claim that. So when you rebut the affidavit and you take that,
rebut the birth certificate.
The affidavit is the birth certificate. That's the original affidavit. That's standing as truth in commerce, because we're running about as minions, allowing ourselves to be the mister. As soon as we realise reclaiming dominion as man gives you the position of dominion over all services in this life that we own and created, we then take back the wealth of that. So in the mortgage, you've gave the mortgage to the bank, your signature. They've took that signature, create £500,000, £250,000 goes to them as surety. That goes to them, so they're paid automatically for what they've pretended to lend you, which by the way means there is no consideration brought to the table, which again is another crime. So they're already paid their 250, then you're given another 250. You have to then pay that back. The minute you, as the debtor, miss the first payment, that 250 balances the books. But only if you've claimed the right of a man and claimed back the security futures that were created, which is the value of 500,000, then your mortgage is paid. Your mortgage is levelled. So if you get that for gas and electricity, say your contract's 2 years. The contract's 2 years. In total, it will maybe cost like say 3, 4, 5 grand over the 2 year period, maybe more. What actually happens is they get the 5 grand up front for the 2 year ahead. They get double that. They get paid their 5, and they put 5 on the meter that's in your house. Your meter's a public meter. Now that's what gives them authority and jurisdiction to enter your house. When they're entering your house for an unpaid bill, the judge hasn't signed authority for debt collectors or the gas company or electric company to enter your house to disconnect you. The judges signed it because the gas and electric company have told the judge that it's unsafe and we need access to check it as safe. Then when they get the access, they disconnect it. So what you do is you take your notice, your affidavit, you send it to the gas and electric companies, as well as all the divisions of society, social work, land registrar, the death and birth register, which is actually at sea, if you read it. When you rebut all this, you take dominion as man, and it pies everything in commerce. Everything in commerce is already pied by the creditor. You, the living essence, the man, the surety that's behind the mister. What else?
And a rebutted affidavit. The affidavit rebuts the birth certificate, which everything is ran on the identity from the birth certificate, which says on the birth certificate, not warning, not to be used for identity. So everything that's created from the birth certificate is fake government ID for the legal fiction, the Mr, Mrs or Miss, corporate ranked, first name, forename, surname. And this is how we can destroy it all, because everything they're doing to us is through the legal entity rather than us. So if we rebut their claim that we're created by paper, and they can't come back, they cannot rebut the affidavit because they can only rebut it with fact, but they only have fiction. So with facts, God's truth, we can take back power of the whole realm. Of every country that's run under UCC, Universal Commercial Code, Uniform Commercial Code, this paperwork, this template that we have in possession, can be used to rebut the birth certificate. So everything they're doing is through the birth certificate. So if you rebut the birth certificate, and they simply cannot. It's impossible to rebut the affidavit because you cannot rebut the truth. So when they don't rebut it, it's taken as truth in commerce. It's fact.
The only way they can rebut it is with facts, and the only facts they can come back with is true accountants on how things work, truly work. If you speak to a chartered accountant, they don't have a clue about this. UCC has been specifically hidden so we can never become aware of the true power each individual has.
Football, TV, news, 15-minute cities, text alerts, fucking black, white, man, woman, sex, fucking anything that does not bring us back together
Trump, Biden,
is advertised and fucking thrown out at us constant to keep us distracted and keep us from getting down to earth and realising that we are being ruled by satanical demonic entities that were psychopaths, nutcases, right, that trick us into acts and performances. But we have the paperwork in their legal jargon to rebut all their claims. You know, simple as, yeah? But we've got it. We can free you from the matrix. Businesses, corporate, all on yours. If you've got hotels, this hotel, what's it paying on gas and electric? We have the freedom to release them from that debt from these corporations, because we're not governed anymore by governments. We're governed by corporations.
That are bankrupt.
Corp, dead, in the water, cannot speak. Oration, spokesperson. Speaking for the corp. Acting in person is speaking for a corp, creates a corporation. A person is a corporation. The oration being the representative, Mr, Mrs or Miss, first name, second name, forename, middle name, speaking for the surname, the trust. Acting in person is acting incorporated. It's acting incorporated.
See every company, when you have an issue with, say, a gas company, and you have an issue with, say, a mortgage company, and the option that we have as Mr and Mrs, as dead entities, the option we have is a phone number to call the corporation. Now, corporations can only deal with other corporations, hence why we're a corporation.
Legislative acts can only sue and be sued by corporate name.
So when you suss out the separation, that's the first step. When you can realise the separation between yourself and the entity. And I get why you're doing this, because the government will play dumb and go, there's no separation there. You are the mister.
That's the fraudulent.
And you're the surety for the mister, they live in you. So what you do, if you can, use two addresses. Change the address for the Mr or Mrs to another address you've got access to. So it could be your next door neighbour. Just use that address as the Mr and Mrs, and the lawful you now
The
lives.
real you.
Now lives, doesn't it? Isn't
I
a
am.
resident? Isn't a resident now lives in your own address?
In that address.
In that address.
The man lives at that address.
If you can show separation.
It's not an address for a corporate rank fiction.
So for business owners, if you put your Mr. into your business,
The Mister.
the Mr. into your business, keep that registration.
See, that's why I'm here.
and you put yourself in your own house, there's a clear separation there that you can say when they come up and go, we didn't understand what you're talking about. Then you can show that there's a clear separation. That's the live in me. That's the Mr. you want to contract with, that you
Power.
want to own as property. Well, I didn't give you authority to own that as property because me.
But they've
live in
assumed.
me,
They've just assumed that you've given permission.
I've become the
By performing in person.
with tricks and traps.
They assume
through
that you
words.
agree. By silence acquiescence. He that remains silent when he ought to have spoken, when he was able to, he's taken to agree. That's an old Latin proverb that these monsters use. So when they ask you what's your name and date of birth, and you just state a name and date of birth, they just assume that you agree to be performing as their creation and not just being.
Presumption and assumption.
Boom. I've been speaking about it for years, my friend. I've been trying my best, but it's very easy to make people like me sound crazy. So when I get a very intelligent dude like this with me, and we're bouncing off each other, we're fucking...
Lifting each other.
We're unstoppable, mate.
And we
So
want to share it.
I mean, this guy knows all the legalese. I know all the fucking covenant, the law, the Ten Commandments, that far supersedes any man-made rules, any man-made rules, policies, any corporate policy called law. Law stands for land, air and water, and our demonic, satanic rulers believe they own it all. Jesus walked on water. And he said to Matthew, you have little faith, because he started sinking. That's why when I'm at a courtroom, I stand in the faith and I do not drown. I do not sink, because my faith is strong and they know it. That's why they've been taking me back and forth to court for the last 4 years for a dodgy trial. So a corporate rank fiction, Mr. Philip Anthony Hartley, is charged to appear for breaching corporate policies called law. Now I go there and rebut that. I rebut them. How can a name, a corporate rank fiction, appear when it only exists on paper? I do not exist on paper. I am real. I don't need to be represented to this courtroom as a corporate rank fiction. I am present. Why do I need to be represented by another man who's performing in person, representing me as a person, as the Mister, when I'm just a man? They have tricked us into these acts of incorporation. If you look at the wording, we're ruled by acts. What does an act require? A performance. So it's all down. So the consent, they take your consent, the silence. You not rebutting a name and date of birth and saying that you own a name and date of birth. That's your agreement. That's there to them. That's your acknowledgement. In the eyes of our Lord, they're doing nothing wrong, because you're walking around saying that you're created by paper and not by the God knitted together in the womb.
When we say presumption,
Naturally.
when we say presumption and assumption, they get away with karmic return because it is presumed that we are fully aware.
And then we're not. There's no disclosure. We're not aware of the contracts that we're entering into, because we're being misled and tricked into these contracts by representatives of the Crown, using all corps, not just the Crown, but any corp, any representative of the Crown, misleading you, using grammatical fraud to perform an act in person, misleading you into an act of incorporation where you perform as a representative for a Crown-created corporate franchise, a surname. It's got SERPs attached to it. That's why it's called a surname.
Chateau.
Shamon!
Registered land.
Do you get me? Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody. Person means corporation, mate. And Mr. Nobody. What are you on about? I have a body. I'm here. I'm a living being, living, breathing flesh and blood. I am not deemed dead, lost at sea. That's through the act of the Cester KV Act, which you sign into through your parents without the knowledge or consent. That's what I mean. It's fraud. The man, the living being, is deemed dead, lost at sea, and they will only deal with the representatives. The Mr., Mrs. or Miss. Births, marriages and deaths. And when you die, they bury the trust. And they still make money from the death insurance, mate.
That's why every gravestone
Hiya,
is
Valentina.
in capital letters.
Every gravestone's in capital letters because
Because
it's the trust of buried.
It's not the man or the woman that buried, it's the
They
trust.
have buried physical body, but it's in their legal world they've buried the trust.
The trust.
They've put the trust to rest.
And even with the death certificate.
Wizard of Oz was hinting back then. Yeah, the gold road, the yellow brick road, ounce. The Wizard of Oz, ounce. When you're born, your weight in gold is
the Wizard of Oz, the lion that wanted courage. That is all of us. We are the sleeping. We are the sleeping.
You
lions.
have the courage. You have the courage in you. We're all lions. We're all fucking sovereign children of God. Red, white, and blue. Not black and white pirate colours like the Crown fly.
That's
like these corporates fly.
3 lions on the
bastardised Union Jacks. Police walking around with a pirate fucking coloured Union Jack with a blue line through it. Tricking people, every single copper out there that believes they're doing a good job, you're conning people into acts of incorporation and ripping them off for the crown. You're not a man of the people.
It's the brother and sister they're conning.
You're conning your brothers and sisters for demonic, satanic rulers. And you're being used, you've been tricked to believe that it's just a normal job, and it's not. Anytime you ask a man to claim that they're birthed, you're tricking them, because a man's born. Only a person's birthed, only the Mr, Mrs or Miss, only the corporate rank fictitious entity that's not real is birthed. I don't celebrate a birthday. I did up until 38-year-old, but then I was reborn through the Lord, and now I celebrate being born. I don't walk around saying I'm birthed. Do you get me? My brothers and sisters. And this is all we're trying to do, is try and wake you up, because you are being ripped off left, right and centre by these corrupt monsters that knighted Jimmy Savile. BBC had a TV programme that procured children for them. They brought children in, man. And you're still sitting there listening to the fucking news every morning. These people acted business-wise to bring in children from the public to bugger.
Through your social services.
Through the social services, through another corporation, tricking us, stealing children off people, tricking them to perform in person so they can steal the property, because the man claims that they're not born of God and that the property is the Crown's, because they've claimed to have a name and date of birth. Do you know what I mean, brothers and sisters? Calm, you don't need to carry on. Calm, you don't need to carry that stress, makes you well. I'm not stressed, mate. I'm not stressed, it's called passion. It's called passion. There's a difference between stress and passion, mate. And another thing, I'm nearly at the bottom of where all these companies have been, these corporations have been opened up using the name I use. So if your knees are not knocking, this fucking should be. Fact. Innit, mate? Innit? You know, because I'm not one to sit about and just fucking take shit off people, me. Yeah? These people that have given me this shit for the last 5 years, they ain't never heard the end of it. They ain't fucking heard the end of this. It's coming round and they fucking know it. All the shit, all the bullying, all the stress, all the trauma they've put me through, it's all coming back round to them, because karma's real. Karma is real. They've tried to destroy me, they've tried to kill me, they've attacked me, they've tried to ruin me financially, and I've still kept rolling on because I have something called the Lord. You know what I mean?
Nature.
And nature, natural. I'm a natural man. Prescribed, natural laws prescribed to me. You know, no loss, no harm, no foul to anyone.
Their gang mentality can help them overrun us all. Man. But the one thing they forget is they'll never beat nature.
Never.
So as long as we open the karmic door of return to them.
There's a reason you can't patent a natural thing. Because you can't patent God's creation, just like you can't patent a man, but you can patent the person. Do you get me? So we've been tricked to claim we're not something other than we are. And then all these policies and all these legislative acts stand against the person, yeah? Do you know what I mean? So all these 15-minute cities, all this bullshit that they're talking down in the big pirate, on the dry dock pirate ship that is the House of Commons, yeah? Which has been proven to be a dry dock pirate ship. They're on-land pirates. They've took our beautiful system and bastardised it and inverted it. And their ultimate goal is to defeat God.
All the politics doesn't matter if they appear to be good. Labour's taking care of we're going to do Britain justice. They are all MK Ultra to keep us sleeping. No politics, it's a pure pantomime.
Yeah, it's pure hypnosis.
Trump gets, when they put bad news out about Trump, Trump gets phoned before they put it out, and he loves it because it's keeping us divided.
It's keeping us distracted. It's keeping us watching something else when we should be looking at this paperwork. We should be looking at what's happening to us by these corporations.
Reclaim dominion as man.
Yeah, take back power. Take back power
for us all.
See, things are changing. Yeah, these horrible people in Parliament, they're going to be torn out soon. Yeah, and then we're going to have sheriffs. We're going to have like local sheriffs, and we're going to have the communities are going to come together and police themselves and govern themselves and grow their own food. You know what I mean? And blow out these fucking corporations that are blagging us that there's a food shortage.
It's actually called anarchy. They want us to believe anarchy's disaster. Anarchy isn't it? Anarchy's self-governed.
It's standing up when it's a moral duty to stand up when you know that the people governing you are wrong.
And independence for Scotland and for Scotland, independence truly means incapable of reading and writing for oneself. I mean, who put the border in this landmass? We're brothers and sisters. We need to take the border down and just call it Britain. Never mind Scotland, England, Ireland, or Wales.
All Earth.
Take the borders down,
all the borders,
and we're one nation.
One nation, one Earth. We're all Earthlings. All Earth, and we're all from this realm. You know, only another man has segregated it off into sections and called it different countries. And made it into different corporations.
Divide and conquer.
And the main three corporations, mate, that you'll need to pay serious attention to is the Vatican, the trust that's created by the Vatican, City of London, and Washington DC.
And then the IRS.
And the IRS.
Forget Inland Revenue.
Yeah, the IRS that's at sea.
Inland Revenue is a bankrupt corporation to the IRS. The IRS is a bankrupt corporation to the Crown. The Crown is a bankrupt corporation to the Vatican.
Yep.
Follow the money. Then above there you've got the Borsa dynasty, you've got the Morsalina dynasty, you've got other families.
You've got other men that won the same race as you in the womb, that use titles and names to lord over you, even though they're exactly the same as you. They won that same race as you. And they were rewarded the same land as you. But they took all the land, said it's theirs, and they charge us to live here. Cost of living. It should not cost anything to live here. You've already won the race. You've already been rewarded everything that the Lord. You won the race in the womb against billions of other you. You made it to the egg. You were born.
They take the true rights for man.
Yeah.
And they give us legal privileges. It's a privilege to go and collect your gyro. It's a privilege.
You what?
It's a privilege to go to jail. It's a privilege to go and pay your mortgage. We never had keys, locks, doors before. We never. Or sister in a cell. Quite a interesting fact I learnt about jail cells, prison cells. They are 6 by 9 cells, and the door is on the 6 foot. So you've got 6 foot by 9 foot. What that's symbolising is it's the 6 ether beings imprisoning the 9 ether beings, me and you.
Yeah, man.
It's a privilege to go to jail.
Yeah. Up the Achilles. Up the Achilles, what's that mean?
Achilles.
Is that something? Is that up the Achilles? What? Oh, so just take them away.
The Achilles heel.
Yeah, take them away from the. Yeah, because this is their weakness, mate. Their system is flawed. Their system is built of paper, right, and it's flawed. The system I go by is natural of God. It's solid foundation built on solid rock. It cannot be moved. It cannot be moved. It cannot be trembled. It cannot be shook. Do you get me? Whereas their paperwork can literally be torn up. It can just burn. It can get wet. It can turn to mush. It's not solid foundation because it's built on fiction.
The reason we need to create a paper affidavit,
yes,
is because their God that they recognise, the Satanists, that they recognise as paper money, that they've got us ripping each other's heart out for.
Yeah, not real wealth.
Paper books, paper.
Stamps.
Everything's paper.
Penny black.
So they only recognise paper. In the moment, you can rebut with your mouth and knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I do when I go to court. When I'm at a court hearing, I rebut everything they're saying through the Holy Spirit. I let the Holy Spirit speak for me, and I rebut them and question them what they're on with, and they get the arse on because they're not used. They're used to dealing with fools. And I'm sorry to call you a fool, but I used to be a fool up until 38-year-old. Because I used to say, I am Philip Hartley, that's me. I am Mr. Hartley, and I used to click.
So instead of fool, would the right word be victim?
Victim, yeah, not fool. We're victims. We're victims because we're not given the information. How can you know something that you never taught?
We're actually all criminals because it takes a criminal to adhere as a
Using
mister.
a legal name is a fraudulent act. It's illegal. It's unlawful to use a legal name. Fact, isn't it?
Aye.
It's unlawful in the eyes of our illegal name.
But perfectly legal.
Fact.
But legal
But
and
legal,
illegal
legality is not.
is evil, two evils for the same bird.
Left wing, right wing, they both fly the same corrupt bird, the same sick bird, the ill eagle.
Red corner, blue corner.
Boom! Boom! There is one hand controlling everything. One hand. Satan, the dark prince himself. And he's here in this realm, mate. And they're trying to amplify the negativity, they're trying to amplify the stress, they're trying to amplify the darkness, because with that energy, more of these demonic entities can take hold of us and take control, you know, and possess us, mate.
The truth lies in the womb, and the womb is the sun. When you know the frequencies
The Son of God.
and the behaviour of the sun, you get to know how life plays out. We're coming out of 2,000 years of darkness, and the reason they can overrule us in this 2,000 years period of darkness is because the sun's frequency has us in a low state. It allows that low state. But the sun's upgrading us.
What in the delusion? See, Joe, let's have a look at Joe with no followers. Watch, this is one of these demonic little Satanist pigs. Right, watch, check this out. Oh no, he's got some followers. Bless him. Joe, he's obviously 77th Brigade. There is an army brigade called the 77th Brigade that are employed to go against the British people. So me and him are here for the people, right, for the real people. We're truly talking truth, yeah. We're not in it for cash, you know. We're in it for the truth, for the reality. And these people are paid to bring you down and dissuade people from listening. But don't you want to live debt-free? Don't you want to live free from the matrix? This is not a delusion, mate. This is paperwork. The same legal paperwork that they're using against us, we can use against them. We can use their system against them. We can fight fire with fire. Do you get me? Fagin, yes, brother, you all right, my man? I'm a Satanist now. Joe, I don't know what you are, bruv, but you ain't obviously a loving soul, because otherwise you'd be here with the people, wouldn't you? You ain't for us, are you? You ain't for us, are you?
There's no delusion.
You're not for us, bruv. You're not for us. You've just fucking shown that you ain't for the people. You are not for the people. Do you get me? Lad, you're gonna get banned, can't say these things, I'm 100%. I know, mate, but what's a ban? What's a social media ban to telling the people the truth? I couldn't give a fuck about social media. I will make another account and I will spit the same truth again. Do you know what I mean? And I will tell people, I go round, I visit 200-300 people a day, businesses. And you imagine what I'm going to be speaking to them about now? Telling them I can help you live debt free, here's my details, there's my hashtag, buy a sticker off me for £1, boom, get in touch. We've got the paper plate, we can do consultations, mate. We can help you. We can seriously help you. Do you know what I mean? Laugh my ass off. I love this man. I love you, brother. I love you with all my heart and soul and being. Everything about me loves you, right? Same as the Lord. Everything about you and everything about the Lord is love. Love, unconditional. Unconditional. There's nothing, no lien. No lien can be put on the Lord. Hey, lean, no lean. It's unleanable. It's an unleanable right between you and that these monsters, these men cannot put a lien on, and they hate it. They don't want you becoming aware. They want you ill-informed, blagged by the BBC. The same Jimmy, and you know what I mean? They want you to listen to these they want you, they're laughing at you, they're mocking you, they're even mocking at you, they're laughing at you. These people get on news, right? They don't speak to you from their heart like me and him are now. They read off an auto cue that their boss, their BBC corporation boss, is telling them to say they are parrots, robots, paid to mislead you, and they ought to look at what they're doing, because they are now an accomplice. Same as anyone walking around with, man, anyone telling everyone to fucking stay at home, anyone that's aiding this agenda, you're an accomplice to all the elderly deaths. If you've been dancing around on hospitals when we were all locked down, not allowed to see his grandparents and stuff, you're an accomplice. There's nothing you can do. You've made your choice. All I can say is that you repent of your ways and you ask for forgiveness for what you've done to your brothers and your sisters. Yeah? Bet you think COVID never happened. I don't know anybody that's died of COVID, lad. Neither does anybody on my friends list. Neither does anybody on their friends list. We've only ever heard about it on news.
Research the word backwards.
Yeah, research the word backwards, bro.
Devoc.
Research it, mate. Have a look. Use your fucking mind and your common sense. You know what I mean? It's the flu.
Yay.
It was just, there's hundreds of different strains of
Retitle.
coronavirus, mate. If you look at the word coronavirus, corona is Latin for crown. Corona is also the signal that comes out of a telephone mast is called a corona. On the 4G mast, it's called a corona. So coronavirus, the crown virus. I have multiple friends who lost grandmothers and grandfathers to COVID.
No.
Milazadam.
That was believing in the
medical bullshit, mate. It wasn't COVID. You know what I mean? I know people that got run over by a bus, mate, and but got put down as COVID on death certificate, right? Mate, you're not for the people. You keep Allah will see. Just bless you, mate. Whatever you want to call it, Allah, Buddha, Tao, whatever. The original source. The original source, that you're not bearing good fruit, mate. This is Masood. It's just some idiot called Masood. He uses the first name Masood. They're a family. They're just idiots, man. They sit there just using fake accounts, forgetting, you know what I mean? Absolute wrong-uns, bless them. Don't you just pray for these people, you know what I mean? I hope their God, Allah, I hope their God fucking heals them, helps them, you know what I mean?
The thing is, we're the gods.
You can't sit there and tell me people I know that... Goodbye, Joe. You are not wanted here. You are not needed here. See ya. Goodbye, Joe. We just said goodbye to Joe because we want people here for the people, not people here for the corporates, paedophile loving wrong-uns, the Satanists, the adrenochrome junkies. We don't want them here.
Instead of using your energy to become negative towards what we're saying.
Joe Liprot back again. This would be his. He's got. See, when these people sit with this amount of fake accounts, man, look how evil they are. Look what's powering them. Look at it.
For the people that take a look for that.
You are talking. Thank you, Tommy, my friend. We're just trying to help you. We're trying to free you from this legal system that's got you enslaved. You are shackled with invisible chains. You are shackled by money. You are shackled by division. You are shackled by false beliefs, false doctrine.
MK Ultra is one of them.
What's so evil about me? Bam, 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 bam. See you later. Please come back with another one, because then I can block that one. Please, mate, because then I can use this like a little fishing net. I can just get all your fake accounts and just delete them, block them. And then you can make another one. You know what I'm saying, brother? Quickly, get on your next account. It's the 77th Brigade, like I said. It's the 77th Brigade. They're sat there with PC after PC after PC. They're sat in a row with PCs, with fake accounts. And the guy next door has just gone to him, oh, so I'll jump on it. I'm back. Collective consciousness of the devil. Collective consciousness of Satan, mate.
One of the
but I buy food with money. You can grow your own food from the ground for free. Did you know that?
From seed to food in 7 days.
Did you know that, mate?
Microgreen.
Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that there's fungi that grows out the ground every single day that you can eat? Fungus, mushrooms, bacteria, barks, roots.
Nature holds all medication.
Yes, it
medication
does. So many.
Everything. It's in the leaves of the grass. It's in the trees. It's in the.
Yes, Eternal Albion.
Anything that comes from nature.
Yeah, go on, sir.
Anything that comes from nature holds true medicine. So if we're not eating living things, we are going to create illness, dis-ease, because we're eating the food that they've gave us.
But that's why they've orchestrated these cost of living crises. They've orchestrated by turning us into consumers rather than hunter-gatherers. Rather than training us to grow our own food. Imagine if everyone on the street, 5 people on your street, on the street that you live on, 5 people grew different fruit and veg, and they all traded with each other, they'd live for free.
What is a consumer? Consumer is a creditor.
Creditor.
So why are you allowed to be the debtor?
Exactly. Do you know what I mean, my friends?
They
are robbing us.
The creator, the God essence that you are.
Yeah. God's special design, beautiful design. We designed beautifully. There's no way my DNA was by chance, mate. No way. There's no way. It's too intricate. It's got information in it. You can read it, man. It can be read like a book. It has the God code in it, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But money makes sense. I work, but I don't grow food right. No, we're living in this world where you've got to chase after promissory notes. You're not even chasing real wealth. You're chasing a promise off the bank. You're chasing a contract piece of paper that promises to pay the bearer upon demand. It's not even real money. Our rulers bank with real wealth, mineral ounces, silver, gold, precious stone, gas, oil, and then they've got us running around chasing monopoly money. you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
That can end when they
Thank
choose
you, my
it to
friends.
end.
You got to trade. You got a trade and barter. I sell these stickers. I'm a bare knuckle boxer from Doncaster, and I sell my own stickers to get by. I'm self-employed, sole trader. I don't claim any benefits whatsoever. I've got good friends. I've got good supporters around me. I've got friends that pretend that they're my friends, but then they come on here with fake accounts, yeah, giving me shit, and then I laugh at them. And then when they next see me face to face, obviously I don't know it with them, but I do it, I have an inkling, but then they're right angry. Because they're angry about the way I've reacted, you know what I mean? They're angry from this, but I don't, you know what I mean? Because they're using fake accounts, because they're fake people, with fake morals, fake, just everything about them's fake. Everything around them, everything about them is bullshit, you know? They're not hard to spot, these folk, man. Yeah, I get you, thank you, my friends. Thank you for following me, my friends. I have a subscription thing here, right? I am happy, if anyone subscribes to this channel, I'm happy to send you 5 of my Love Campaigner stickers. No fear, no limits, no excuses. The hashtag on TikTok's got 1 million views. If you scroll through my videos, you see how I visit businesses that have supported me in the past for charity events, and now I go and see them and ask them to sell me some stickers. I've raised hundreds of thousands with my teams through boxing, marathons. I've done my charity work, learnt through the pandemic that charities are taking the piss, corporations, corporate bollocks, and now I try and help myself. Shadowbox what? Shadowbox what, mate? If you just go on a video, people who hide behind grey avatars. Yeah, they are, mate, they are. I'm over in Ireland, but there is some people making moves of it. We've got to. It's down to us. It's down to us to make the move, mate. If you sat there moaning about your life situation, right, but all you do is you get up, go to work, come back, put your feet up and watch your telly, that's not living. That's existing. And you're not doing anything to make a stand. You know what I mean? It's down to us. We are the people. We are governed by consent. What is it they need us to consent to? They need us to consent to perform an act in person and consent to be processed through the legal entity rather than us. That's the only consent they require. And they gain that consent using grammatical fraud by asking us, what is your name and date of birth? Which is a trick question. Can I ask of course you can, mate, Tommy. Go ahead. Go ahead, man, brother Tommy. Go ahead, man called Tommy. How you doing? Of the House of Egan. Brother. Shoot. Yes, guys, you're all good. So, if you've been watching, you know, we offer financial freedom. We offer freedom from the Matrix. Do you have a YouTube channel? There is a YouTube channel that I'm using, mate, through the legal name. It's a Love Campaigner. Just search hashtag Love Campaigner and you'll find my YouTube. There's not as many videos. They've censored the life out of me, mate. I'm censored, proper censored, just because I have knowledge and truth. I'm a peasant. But it says in the Good Boss Gospel, the young, the old will prophesy. You know what I mean? They will utter words. I will speak in tongues, because some of the things I say you don't get. But the people that are clued up in the legal world, they get it. But us, victims of this legal system, they don't get it, you know. And so it sounds like I'm speaking in tongues. But if you take the time to look at what I'm saying, and take the time to realise the difference between a birthed entity from a birth certificate that says not to be used for your ID and yourself born. Boom. This video will be getting reported to death. My last video got took down for sexual activity and nudity because I was talking about stuff like... Thank you, Steve, my brother Steve, mate. We have to stay. This is how we beat the evil. We have to stay on this energy. We have to vibe. We have to rise above it. We have to ascend. You know what I mean? Because everything they're doing is to keep us down, to keep us closed in this fear mode. Not going 6 foot with each other. You know, our little Taurus energy, tiny. It's all. It's meant to be boom, boom, and they hate it because they can see them auras. And they can feel them as well, and they know when the Lord's looking at them, and they know it. Every judge that's ever dealt with this case regards to this Mr. Philip Anthony Hartley versus the Crown, they've had to pass it on to the next judge or the next prosecution because they can't deal with it. Because they can only deal with your consent. In the eyes of the Lord, if they process me as Mr. Hartley, even though I've rebutted them verbally with the truth of God, in the eyes of God, they're going, you know what I mean? They can't do it. They only believe they're doing they tricked us into consenting by silence, mate. Where we should be aware, like questions when they say, "What is your name and date of birth?" The real question a representative of the Crown should be saying is this: what is the legal name that you use, and what house do you hail from? That's the difference from asking a man if they're a fucking fiction And if they're real, stay safe, brother. Gotta go. Respect, Tommy. You have a great day. Richard, it's true. It's all been manufactured since about... You know this, mate. You know this. Everything is a lie. NASA is it's all a show, mate. It's all a shit show to keep you distracted. Keep you chasing after fucking money that, you know, it's not even real wealth. So they can just keep plundering real wealth. Because the trust that they created and annexed to you through the birth certificate, which was acknowledged by the parents on the registration date, right? That trust is priceless. Now, I don't agree with acting as beneficiary, creditor or debtor or anything. I don't want nothing to do with it, yeah? I believe we're just man, that's it, yeah? Performing is agreement. Acting as any or part of it is agreement, but, you know, this is they're not gonna, this is the only way that they're gonna do it, using their paperwork, right? But you can still stand in your power as a man and use that paperwork against them, knowing about it, you know, because there's disclosure. My friends, give them bread and circuses, they won't revolt, just like the sports fit. Exactly.
Yeah, let them ken, we'll make a better one tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna make a video tonight. More information. It's gonna be put up. We're gonna have these templates. We're happy to do consultations face to face. Yeah, face to face consultations. You know, to help people. The legal system that is ruling you and the shit they're putting on the telly is all fraudulent and unlawful, mate. They're evil. And it's your right to stand in your moral duty as God's children and rebut them. And we fight them back. You know, not with violence, not with anger, not with animosity, not with, physically, but spiritually, emotionally, vibrational. Phone, early warning, alarm, and take about what it's about. Another distraction, mate, to keep you distracted. Don't concentrate on anything you see on the telly or read or anything. Concentrate on getting your power back and being the man, the living being, rather than having to perform. The living being having to act in person or perform in person. Just be. What's this performing about? Why is my energy required to perform as something that I'm not? What's going off here? If you want to deal with me, you deal with me. You don't trick me into an act of incorporation to sign some contract. You have to acknowledge it, or do you think Andrew Tate should be in jail?
Actually, he's not in jail.
Mate,
he's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's not in jail.
It's all fake, mate.
Andrew Tate is a psyop that works for them.
He's not in jail, man. The news is full of shit. They're just actors. It's all a show to keep you divided and arguing with each other.
Here's a really key secret that helped me years ago.
Richard.
If you want to source and siphon out the bullshitters for the real men that are trying to teach you, or women that are trying to teach you the truth, if they are not speaking about dominion, if they're not speaking about dominion, then listen to them. Get rid of them.
No. If any truther's telling you you're a person, any truther's not speaking about the legal name, they're full of shit.
Dominion of man.
Trust me.
Reclaiming
they're for the crown, they're for all these people that get you to march in London and fucking and congregate on these ley lines, these powerful energy ley lines. They're in on it, man. Trump. They're paid.
They're all part of it.
If they're not telling you about the legal system and the legal name and the act of incorporation, the difference between a name and a man, then they are not for you. So be very wary. Yeah, anyway, I've got to go because it's 11:15. You have a good night, good day. I'm keeping my tinfoil hat on and secure. Richard, mate, I don't need a tinfoil hat because what I speak is facts. You know what I mean? I wouldn't come on here to talk shit, man. Why? I see people getting plundered and pillaged, and I feel like we need to do something about it. Do you get me?
Everybody's suffering for the cost of living.
Everybody's suffering in a fake crisis, mate.
You can end it for you tomorrow, tonight, now, whenever you choose.
Just by rebutting the birth certificate, which is what all these, everything is created, all the identities are created from the birth certificate. The official government ID that you claim to be you is created from the birth certificate that says on it not to be used for your ID. So that's how they've tricked us. It's there in your face, but people still go around saying it's them. Do you get me? Plot twist, I'm Joe. I couldn't give a fuck, Lippy Joe, mate. Thank you very much for popping up, because I can just block you again, brother. Block you again, 77th Brigade dude. This guy's he's part of the 77th Brigade, which is an army team set up against the real British people.
They've always got 7-9.
Yeah, they've always got 7-9 on because the 77th Brigade, mate. They are an army, a paid corporate, government paid army group that's there just to dissuade, just to put this truth out, to stop this truth getting out there, because they want you to carry on performing and pretending that you're something you're not. They are from Satan.
I suppose the 7th.
And they're listening to me because the Lord's willing to, it's the Lord's will for them to hear this. You're going to hell. You're going to burn for eternity. You've made a bad change. You've swapped your eternal salvation for your material riches here. Poor sods. Unlucky. Unlucky, mate. Unlucky. Hey, Joe, we forgot more than you know. That's it, Richard. So yeah, anyway, peace and love, guys. Thanks for following. Next time I come on, subscribe. I'll send you some stickers and a newsletter. Every month if you subscribe, I'll send you a little newsletter and some stickers. Peace and love to you all. Go in peace, my brethrens. From me and a man called Lee. From me, a man called Philip and a man called Lee. Love to you.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, my friends. Bye.